Hi everybody and welcome back to Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz, that's Jack.
Hello everybody.
And joining us in the background is Letty, which is Jack's wife and Jack's mother. And today, after a trip to the Asian food market, which we'll have a video on later, we decided to try to do a simple soup. Now I was going to do a miso, but I found out that I forgot the ginger like an idiot. So we're going to do more of a udon soup, which is kind of good, but we're going to add our own stuff to it. So let's go ahead and get started. So there's a lot of ingredients here. There's some bad pronunciation, but we're going to stick with it. Now this is your udon soup base. This is what you need. It's your most basic stuff, super cheap, and you're only going to use a little bit of it at a time. I can't pronounce the name. Now we're going to have a lot of stuff. We're going to use vegetables. So we got some green onions that are frozen. We got some two different kinds of mushrooms. I got some shiitake and then some I can't pronounce random teeny tiny ones that I got from the Asian food market. I got some kimchi that I'm going to add to one, just make it a little spicier. And then, like I said, I couldn't get the big thick round udon noodles, so I got these, and I can't pronounce the kimchi whatever kind it is, but you can tell it's kind of thicker, but it's flat instead of just completely round. And then we got some Thai chilies I want to use too, a little bit of garlic. But now I got two different kinds of batches, so we're going to do one with like these beef balls and then one with the pork belly. Now the beef balls are just tendon, so I don't think that's weird. So start off, you start with your noodles, like crank up the heat, you're going to get this to boil. Use enough water to cover the noodles, which apparently 2 cups is not enough. Yeah, so I'll be right back.
Will 4 cups do?
No.
How about 6? Maybe?
So, yeah, 6 cups. There we go. That should be enough. So we bring that to a boil. While we're doing that, we're going to prep everything else. We got chilies. We got a little garlic we're going to chop up later. Now, the whole head of this mushroom here is really neat. You don't want this little bottom part, so we're only going to use half of this. So we're going to like cut it in half. Now the shiitake, it's got like a meat type texture to it, which is, I enjoy it or whatever, but it's a little thicker. These have been rinsed. And then we just take this and just cut it right in half. And then you take this other part and freeze it, use it for later, or whatever. Now this part you take and cut that bottom part off where it was growing. Always looks gross, I don't trust it.
Yep.
And the rest of this I just cut it into smaller pieces. You can kind of see where that's put off there. But I just cut the heads off, little mushrooms, and then that whole bulk part that's all attached to the bottom, cut that up into smaller pieces that'll break down in the soup. It's really good. It's got a really unique texture. It's not one of those giant king mushrooms or whatever, but I don't know how to pronounce it. That's the little oddball ones. So we had our pork belly just started on a skillet in the back, and then now this is boiling. We're going to go ahead and put these in. Now these fold a lot faster than your regular noodles.
Yeah, your spaghetti noodles.
Yeah. So you can kind of see this. You don't want it cooked too bad. You want it kind of brown a little bit. The boiling soup will cook it through the rest of the way, but I just don't trust the entire thing. So your shiitake, I just go ahead and I slice them into long, thin strips. Like I said, it's got that really tough texture. It's almost like meat. I enjoy it. And then back to your pork belly, right? So it's a little thicker, so you want it to break down a little bit, but not too much. So once it starts to brown a little bit, you stop. You got your noodles, been boiling, everything's soft. Turn it off, strain, drain, clean it, set them aside. Now, here's your udon soup base, right? So it's supposed to be 1 to 12, whatever. We ended up doing 6 cups, so like
I don't even remember.
like a quarter cup or half cup, I think, and it was really strong. Which that's how I like my soups anyway. And we did 2 different batches, so we heated these up. So we went ahead and put them on high to get them to boil. And while we did that, we're going to go ahead and throw in the first ingredients. So let those get warm. They're the exact same stuff. One looks a little lighter. I think it's just where the light is based. So we used our green onions. You can use regular onions or just not. I enjoy them. And these have been frozen and then thawed out, so it felt like grabbing like really old boob. It was gross. But you can get it in there. And now we put all the small mushrooms in one. And that's going to be our spicy batch that we're going to do over there. And then this other one is all our shiitake. Now it looks like really full, but we're going to break it down later. And it shrinks up. All the ingredients float, as Jack said. It's very much a Stephen King thing. Everything floats here. So we start putting this in, and now we have the garlic. So we're going to put like 1 clove to each. We got a little piece of pepper that escaped. And then we put these little Thai chilies in this one. That's going to break down a little bit. Now you can start with the same ladle as long as you go from the not spicy one to the spicy one, but not back and forth. So if you screw up and go for the spicy one to the not one, and it's going to just make it all spicy and everybody's going to hate it. Now one is boiling better than the other for whatever reason. So we're just kind of showing it where it's breaking down. And this is where you put in your meat. Like we put the pork belly just whole in there to help it give some of that flavor back to that soup. And then these tendon are Vietnamese something. They're already pre-cooked, so I don't have to worry about them too much. But it's basically, like I said, it's just tendon and beef that's been watered up and already cooked. And it breaks down. It's really good. I'm a big fan of
Looks attractive.
tendon in my pho or whatever, so I don't mind chewing on beef balls. It's not a proper soup unless you're gargling beef balls. So now we swapped these around just so we could get the other one to boil. It was on our lucky burner, apparently. You can kind of see it. So I let it break down, and once it comes to a boil, we stop. And it took us like maybe 10 minutes. And then turn it down to simmer and let it sit for another 8 to 10 minutes. Where it broke down there, you can sit in there for a long time. Now, when we go to plate it, we usually don't show this, but you already have your cleaned and strained noodles. You're going to break it down and do it this way. A lot of people will throw their noodles in there. Every time I've done it, it just boils the noodles apart. I don't know if it's like a rice-based noodle, and it comes apart when you boil it, so I always cook it separately and then serve it. Got my ladle, put all my balls in the one plate. My mother always told me not to put all your balls in one basket or whatever.
Something
It might have been eggs. I'm not sure.
Probably.
But this smells great as it's cooking. I absolutely enjoyed it. And then we got the spicy one we did over here. And this one was outstanding. This is the one I added the kimchi to it a little bit. But it was a sweet kimchi, which my friend Ann told me not to use, but I did. So I just put a couple of the pieces of the pork belly in there. They're kind of boiled down. Everybody thinks they're uncooked, but that's just what they look like when they've been boiled. And then just get as much as this broth and stuff in there. It's like really thick. Like most of the Udon soup, it's like broth, noodles, and that's it. Like we added a bunch of junk to it. But
Gotta have more sustenance.
oh yeah, we're way too American to just sip broth unless we're sick. Now the kimchi, I'm used to larger leaves of this, so it just kept coming out in little bitty pieces, and it just makes me like I'm just fondling this whole thing.
The larger ones were further down.
So you get all that, and there you have it. Like each one of those batches costs at the most, I think, like $5 or $6 at the most, and it was really good. It's lasted for quite a while, and like I said, you can always just make more broth and just more stuff and just keep it going, like just constantly on the fire. But it fed me at least 4 times.
There's still some out there too, I think.
Oh yeah, that's tomorrow. And there you have it, udon soup. Kind of, sort of made properly by a couple of white guys. It was really great. Tasted outstanding. Loved it. So, we'll see you next time. But before we go, I got a special shout out for a friend of mine. Bradley, it looks like I'm going to be out of town this weekend, man. But you're going to have your 8th birthday, and I hope it's the best, all right? So, everybody else, we'll see you back here at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen, Tuesdays and Fridays on YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram at Living Between, or on Facebook at Living Between Paychecks there. You can find us on Patreon if you want to help us out. We'll see you around.
All right.